Fry, get in your Good morning, everyone. I had to take Fry out because he was wanting to eat lawn nuggets as one is wont to do. And the thumbnail was me playing with, Canva as EU as being a wonderful goddess of a person and explaining to those of us, well, okay, just me. Basically, just Friberto. I know you want all the attention today. You are in full on. I is a puppy, and I would like to play. I know. I have none of your toys. Where is your toy? Um, Mode, and I thought that we would not get any footage until tomorrow because I forgot Friday was the thing. I know you're shocked, but this day behind thing. So I thought the defense would rest. I was planning on Tuesday, so I thought the defense would rest and then we would get or the state would rest and then we would get the defense. And I could only imagine that the defense's argument was going to be something of a dumpster fire. So it's the dumpster fire, the hat of shame, and uh Gareth, because I really couldn't imagine what else would be the shocking, big sad, and all the evidence that poor Gareth suffered bigly for. I, I really don't know what the defense is, thus far with their wonderful show is going to have for their case in chief. But that was my inside and inner monologue visuals telling of what the defense's case was going to be. And good morning, Little Peanut and Reindeer. So that was my playing with Photoshop, as you guys can tell by my thumbnails. I am trying to get better at it. EU has done a lovely job of making the mystery that is Canva uh, demystified. And I didn't even have to bother poor Mr. Mo, who was doing all the manly things yesterday with the bandsaw. And he's like, I didn't even use a bandsaw. I was like, fine, a saw thingy majig and all the stuff. So before I get this two set up, I want to make sure that you guys can hear it.
I didn't think it would take that long. So I'm sorry for making you wait. All right. But we are prepared to go forward in this matter. Counsel, you may call your next witness.
People call. We're getting a witness right now, Your Honor.
Who is it?
This is going to be the custodian of records for Verizon,
All right.
Melissa Sandoval.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Sandoval, if you can approach the witness stand down here, please. If you could raise your right hand. I'm going to give it a crack here. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony that you're about to give in the case now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So I hope you got it.
I do.
Okay, who needs my clerk? I could do this just as easy. You can take your seat there, please. If you could state your first and last name, spelling both for the record. Thank you.
Melissa Sandoval,
Okay.
MELISSA SANDOVAL.
Okay, Ms. Sandoval, if you can lean into the microphone because you kind of have a light voice, if you would, okay? Thank you. All right, counsel.
Could we not get an
Ms.
adjustable
Sandoval, please
mic?
tell the jury what it is that you do for a living.
Good morning. I work for Verizon Wireless. I am a senior analyst with the executive relations team.
What is a senior analyst?
So my duties as a senior analyst include appearing as a custodian of records. I also handle small claims litigation, arbitrations, and agency and executive disputes.
And as a custodian of records for Verizon, what kind of training experience have you received to conduct the duties of a custodian of records?
So we go through training with our Verizon Security Assistance team. We partner and shadow other members of that team. We also have trainings periodically throughout the year to ensure that we keep our skill set up. And then we deal with these records on a daily basis.
So are you able to, like, for example, if if someone were to issue a subpoena, whether it's prosecution, defense, or civil attorney, if they issue a subpoena for phone records, are you then able to retrieve the phone records from Verizon and send them those records to that individual?
That's correct. Our Verizon Security Assistance team actually handles the production, and then our team handles the appearance portion of the request.
And did your company receive a search warrant for records for an Amy Harwick's phone number 626-347-7623 on or about February 1st, 2021?
Yes, we did.
And pursuant to that search warrant, did Verizon provide records related to that phone number on or about February 4th, 2021, about 3 days later?
Yes, we did.
And have you reviewed those records that were provided by Verizon to the Los Angeles Police Department?
I have.
How recently have you reviewed those records?
I reviewed them again this morning.
Okay. And would you authenticate those as records that were kept in the custody of Verizon?
Yes,
And were they kept in the normal course of business?
yes.
And how are they safeguarded, or where are they stored within Verizon?
They're stored electronically. The records are pulled from our switch, and they're used primarily for billing purposes and troubleshooting.
And are these records generated, for example, if someone makes a call, a record will be generated and Verizon will keep that record?
Yes,
And are these records reliable?
yes, they are.
And did you provide the records for Amy Harwick's phone that I just indicated to LAPD?
Yes, we did.
And did you verify that that number, 626-347-7623?
Well, I think this was the same. So I think this is still from the same day. And yeah, I don't like this. I called it the plaid jacket. Yeah, I don't like this look for him. I don't think it makes him look professorial. I mean, it doesn't even have the little patches, but they never show his elbow. I don't like that he's never made eye contact with even these witnesses who barely have anything sort of controversial about him. Like, so this person doesn't really know him from Adam. So the fact that he doesn't make eye contact, or I have yet to see him look up from the table this entire trial, gives to me as a juror, that looks altogether skeevy. Like, I could understand not making eye contact with any of her friends or anything like that, but these particular witnesses, like just these kind of procedural witnesses, it's altogether kind of skeevy, but that's just
Three,
me.
that the subscriber for that number was Amy Harwick.
Yes, I did.
Oh, well, thanks,
And was
Dennis,
the
for at
search
least
date
for listening.
that was requested from January
That
1st,
might be
2020
too.
to February 15, 2020.
Yes, it
But
was.
I'm
So
not reading
whatever
it
Verizon
favorably.
had as far as records for that those search dates, that was provided to Los Angeles Police Department.
Yes, it was.
And is that provided via email in a zip file?
Typically, that would be how it was presented.
And if someone has Amy Harwick's cell phone number, and they have a subpoena to subpoena these records, would you only provide them to law enforcement, or would you also provide them to civil attorneys and defense attorneys also?
They would be provided to those attorneys as well, as long as they followed the proper procedure.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Do you have the records in front of you?
I do not.
Do you know whether the records that received showed any calls in February 2020?
There were calls in 2020 that I reviewed.
And was there anything in January of 2020?
We did not have the January 2020 information for call records.
You didn't have that.
Not at the time the request was made. Those records had been purged.
So whatever records of those calls in January 2020 had been purged and no longer existed.
As far as the call detail records, yes, there would be calls reflected on a billing statement, but not the actual call detail records.
And did the record request you received ask for the call detail records?
That's correct.
Do you know whether the Verizon records show only VO LTE, voice over LTE, as opposed to not traditional voice
Yes.
calls made over the cell network?
I'm not sure I understand the question. Do you mean VoLTE versus 3G records?
Yes.
3G versus 4G?
Yes.
We have 3G and 4G record information.
All right. Did those records include anything other than the Volt T records?
I believe there was a file labeled 3G. I can't recall specifically what was on that file, but the records request would have included any type of call detail records, regardless of whether they were 3G or 4G.
All right, thank you. I have nothing further.
Redirect.
I have nothing further.
All right, you may step down. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Welcome.
We call Detective Scott Masterson.
All right.
I will say that this trial, this judge, and this courthouse has really kept things moving. And I will say this prosecution team has really kept things moving. I mean, other than the defense asking,
Detective, just a reminder, you're under oath still?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
this detective has just taken time off from his clearance, his CCR, revival band. He's like, look, I am in a Credence Clearwater revival band. We take times on the weekends. It's Bad Moon Rising, and never mind. Look, I have all the ADHD, and my mind makes up backstories for these people. And this man is definitely part of some sort of CCR or Leonard Skinner, tribute band. I'm just saying, possibly, allegedly, if you will.
Are you ready?
Thank you. Detective Masterson, I believe we left off, we talked about the statue with the broken arm, correct?
Yes.
And now I have another series of photographs, A through D. Would this be marked people's next in order?
Good. 83, I believe.
83, thank you. You can hear at people's 83. See that there?
Yes.
Is that the back of the statue next to a wooden fence?
Yes.
And looking at photograph B, is that also another photograph of the back of the statue and that wooden fence?
Yes.
And there appears to be like a photo ID number 10 over there.
Yes.
Is that actually on a chain link fence?
Yes.
Looking at photograph C, does that show photo ID number 10, the wood fence and where the chain link fence begins?
Yes.
And did you direct someone to swap that particular location?
Yes, I did.
Why did you do that?
But I believe that the defendant made entrance and climbed over that fence. And so I wanted to swab it for DNA.
So you thought maybe someone touched it with their hand when they jumped over?
Correct, climbed over, yes.
Well, what if they were wearing gloves, in your experience, would that leave DNA?
Relevance Foundation.
Oh,
It's probably, it's less likely, but there's a possibility from handling the gloves, there could be touched DNA.
Looking at photograph D, is this a picture of the swab for that part of the chain link fence?
Yes.
Now, before I get to the next photograph, now you mentioned that there were 2 logs started for that particular location. Is that correct?
Yes,
And we discussed one log that started at about 5 a.m., correct?
yes.
Is that the interior crime scene log?
That's there's an exterior and an interior crime scene log, 2 logs.
So is that for the interior log?
Yes,
Okay, and then is there a perimeter exterior crime scene log?
yes.
Okay, and is that one started at 1:25 in the morning?
Yeah, at 1:25, 1:27 a.m. Yes.
And so why do they have different times? The exterior logs at 1:25 and the interior ones at 5 a.m.?
Objection relevant.
So the exterior log basically covers, in this case, the outside of the house. And that log was started earlier at 1:27. Once it was determined that this was a homicide scene, they started the exterior log at 1:27, I believe it was, with the first units that arrived to the 9.
So I do like that the state is taking time here to kind of close that loop that we kind of saw the defense try to open up with the first responding police officers, where they were like, "Oh, but you moved the bead, you moved this bead, and you moved that bead, and why are you touching this with your ungloved hand?" Which, in a perfect world, they wouldn't. But this is, right now an active crime scene, and they didn't really know what was going on. So you can't fault them for, unfortunately, having certain things that were moved or touched without a gloved hand when they were making sure that there wasn't another person or suspect or person in need of care in the house. So I do like that the state is going out of its way now to kind of really tie together that loophole where, well, the amount of sex toys in that house. But it didn't occur to me until I remembered kind of halfway through the body cam footage that the roommate was a I know he's not a pure romance, but he was an adult toy provider for many shops, and I think outlets, I don't know, Emporia, if you will. So he had a display case, although why you would have a display case, I have no idea, because unless people are coming to your house for parties, I can't imagine. Like, "Look, ma, I've got my X-wing and the double X-wing."
To the 911 call.
Objection foundation.
In terms of the first units arriving?
In terms of.
Oh, and the display bras.
why
Yeah,
they were
we
creating
don't.
this law. He wasn't there until 5.
Well, get into that, find out.
Well, are you familiar with these crime scene logs?
Yes,
What
I
in
am.
the
How often do you
holy
use these
hell is this defense tie? His wife hates him. That looks like my grandma's couch.
I'll get into that, find out.
Well, are you familiar with these crime scene logs?
Yes, I am.
How often do you use these crime scene logs?
At every crime scene.
Okay. Go ahead. So why are these crime scene logs created this way?
Okay, and then we have what we refer to as the interior crime scene, and that's going to be even more restricted. We're not going to just let officers go through. We want to keep it as pristine as possible. So they started an interior crime scene log at about 0500, corresponding to about the same time that I arrived.
And prior to 0500, is it your understanding the officers don't know exactly what has occurred yet?
Exactly. They don't know if this is going to be a homicide scene. The victim is transported, so everything's kind of in limbo for a little bit.
And you said you start having photographs taken of various items that you think they may or may not be relevant to the particular case.
Correct.
Now, I have another series of photographs showing in our cast pan. This is why people's next in order.
84.
84, photograph A and B. Can you tell us what is showing on 84?
Yes, just to the right of the photo ID placard number 11, there is a black, I believe it's a cast iron skillet or pan.
Let me show you photograph B of this exhibit. Is that a close-up of that?
Yes, it
Holy
is.
crap, you have to do some damage.
A, and that has a property item number
Yeah.
31.
Yes,
I keep checking
Was
my
that the
phone to see if
item
the
number-
fun
was that
people
item
have
booked as
emailed me
item
back.
31?
yes.
Such a nerd.
And so this cast iron skillet pan, do you know where it was found?
Yes, I do.
Where was that?
Objection relevance, that's this piece of evidence.
Yeah, so-
I'm sorry, relevance?
That's this piece of evidence.
Well, that's my point. I want to know where it was found and the reason why they photographed.
Okay, go ahead.
So why was this photographed?
So it was located at the next door neighbor's house. The owner of the property pointed it out to me
Objection,
specifically.
hearsay.
Overruled because he undertook some action in terms of securing that. Once he pointed it out to you, I take it you then took it into your
I
possession.
think the real question we need to ask ourselves is what happened to hot court reporter? Sal, I think we must get onto this because thus far, I don't think we've seen hot court reporter since the day we thought she was semi-nude because of her unfortunate color choice of shirt. Do you think she was admonished and sent away? The judge was like, "Not in my courtroom. There will be no Lauren Boberting in my courtroom."
Possession.
Yes.
Okay, overruled.
So what did he say to you that made you want to take that cast iron skillet?
We must have
into your
David
possession?
call and make sure
Overruled.
He said it
hot,
wasn't
not
his. He didn't
nude
know where
court
that came
reporter
from.
comes back.
And so then you decided based on that, you just to be safe, you'll collect.
Correct. It'd be easier to take it and not need it, and
I
then
know.
later on find out that it played a role in the investigation, and I didn't
They
have
also washed it with soap.
Looking at the photograph showing what appears to be French doors from the interior, may this be marked people's number 85?
Yes.
Can you tell us what is shown there?
I knew that would get you, Bobby Baloney.
it. So this is in the interior of the residence, the French doors that open up into the living room, and you can see the bottom of the door on the left from this perspective. The bottom of the door, window glass has been broken out.
Okay. Do you know why in some photographs it appears like it hasn't been broken out and on this one it appears broken out?
I don't. I couldn't tell you why.
You guys, we all know from the Bradley Yon case, special effects and special lighting. We all know they've done tricks. It's persuasion and special voices. We all know what persuasion is.
I can tell you why.
You don't know if someone moved it in a certain way?
Possibly it was moved and the glass continued to fall. The pieces fell off of it because it was broken.
I have another series of two photographs showing close-ups of photo ID numbers
That
12
does
and 14. It is
explain
marked as people's
many
86.
things.
Yes.
Looking at people's 86.
Because she did look scared. Like she
Is
wasn't
that
supposed to be
a
there.
close-up of photo ID numbers 12 and 14?
Yes.
And looking at photograph B, is that a close-up of photo ID 12 on the French doors?
Yes.
And what did you see there that day as far as photo ID number 12?
There's a red stain on the wood, the white painted wood.
Objection, foster circulation.
He said it's a red stain. How's that speculation?
That it's a stain. How do you know it's a stain?
Well, we want him to call it a mark, a smudge. He's got to characterize it somehow. All right, overruled.
What did it appear to you? Well, you've seen blood before at different locations.
Yes.
Would you say when investigating hundreds of homicides, you've seen blood at crime scenes?
Yes.
And what did this appear to you to be, photo ID number 12?
To me, it looked like dried blood.
And did you have a criminalist swab it?
Yes.
And was this, did you see him? Did you see that criminalist swab it?
Yes, I did.
And did you have that criminalist identify that item as property item number 2?
Item 12. Photo item 12.
No, the photo ID number 12,
Yes.
but what's the property ID?
Oh, the property, I'm sorry, the property
Property
number,
item number.
number 2.
let's go back to 86B. Can you describe for the jury what you observed as far as how that what appeared to you to be a blood stain was swabbed?
How the criminalist swabbed it?
Yes.
They use the same type of method where they have a cotton swab, but when it's a dried stain, it will use some purified water to moisten the tip, and then rub it onto the stain, and thereby collect a portion of the stain, and then they'll package it, and it'll be booked and processed.
Is that
No,
what you
he's
observed?
just at the
Not
before
just-
stage. See, I am at my
Hearsay
before
foundation.
stage right now.
Okay, how do you know that that's what they did, sir?
I was there and I watched them do it.
Okay, Mabruk.
Thank you. Looking at people, another series of photographs, 3 photographs of A through C, they just remarked as people's number
87.
87. Looking here at 87, does this show the French doors and part of the living room with a placard over to the left?
Yes,
Let's looking at 87B. Does that show photo ID placard number 13 on the living room floor?
He'd be slightly
Yes.
less
close to the French
degenerate.
doors?
yes.
It'd be a step
Looking
up,
at photograph
sadly.
C, is that a close-up?
Actually,
what
I'd
was-
prefer him
what we
over
were trying to
Megan
identify in
Rapinoe.
Photo ID 13.
Yes,
Don't
just
know
right
if
in
that's
front of
saying
the
much.
placard.
And
Or
why did you
Rapinoe.
have them take a photograph of this location?
This was, again, another red stain that was on the floor that I wanted to document.
And did you have criminalists swab this particular stain?
Yes,
And did they do it in the same way you described them doing photo ID number 12?
yes, the exact same process.
And was this booked into evidence as property item number 3 for this case?
Yes, it was.
I have a document with 2 photographs from A and B, and I just remarked people's next in order, 88.
89, 88, that's right. Stand corrected.
Looking at 88A, does that show the French doors from the interior side of the living room?
Yes, it does.
And does it show the general location of photo ID placard number 14?
Yes, it does.
Looking at 88B, can you tell us, this appears to be a close-up of the photo ID placard number 14. Can you tell us what is shown here?
Yes, again, this is a red stain on the door just to the right of the photo ID number 14.
And did you have a criminalist swab this particular stain?
Yes, I did.
And why did you ask them to swab this stain?
Again, I believed it was possible blood.
And did they swab it in the same way you described that they swabbed the stain from photo ID number 12?
Yes,
Gareth, could
Same
you
exact way.
leave more
Same exact way.
evidence? Seriously, sir.
And was this swab?
You
closed
peed
for
in
this
the
particular
corner.
case
You
as
left
item
blood
number 4?
everywhere. You knocked out
Yes.
a Hindu arm or a goddess arm statue. I mean, it may have been Buddhist. I don't know. Some sort of many-armed statue. I mean, sir,
Another series of photographs showing what appears to be
and let's
the
not forget the
blue
Ring
room
doorbell cameras.
with closets and a carpet. They just be marked as people's necks in order. It's photographs A through D.
89, 89.
Thank you. Looking at 89A, can you tell us what it's showing here?
this is a upstairs room of the residence. I think technically it was a bedroom, but there wasn't a bed. It was a large screen TV and a couch. So I kind of was calling it a TV room. Or
And can you describe what's over here, a little bit to the left, top center of this photograph? I'm pointing it
Yeah, I
with
hope
my finger.
that he
There
doesn't
appears
get
to be
into
one.
why in the hell is Chris Rock
yeah, I
in
believe
this
that's a
movie.
closet.
How
But I
about to the left
That's
of
going to
that?
happen when the
there appears to
defense
be some
starts
kind of other
presenting this
door.
case.
Maybe there are
I love closed
2
captions.
doors, one on top of the other.
Yes,
Can you describe what that is?
It's the
that
saving
was.
grace
I would
of this
refer to it as
being
a built-in cabin
The day
that
behind.
had like accordion doors up on top and below, and that's the wall where the TV was.
And you see what's shown towards the bottom of this photograph appears to be a black,
Yes,
some type of clothing.
yes, there's a black leather jacket.
Looking at photograph B of this exhibit, does that show a different angle of that particular jacket?
Yes, that would be the perspective of looking into that room, and you can see the closet door on the right, and then those accordion doors on the cabinet, and then the very back of the photograph is a wall of windows that overlook the front of the house.
And how are these photo ID placards being placed? Are you placing them, or is someone else placing them at your direction?
The criminalist is placing them at my direction. It's a team effort. We're trying to do it methodically and not skip over things.
Looking at photograph C, is this a close-up of that jacket?
Yes,
And looking at photograph D, is that a photograph of the jacket taken at a different location now? The jacket being shown, like the front of the jacket.
yes,
And was this jacket booked in, for this case as property item number 32?
yes, it was.
In that same room, did you find some jewelry on the floor?
Yes,
And I have a series of, my next exhibit is a series of photographs A through D. May this be my people's next in order, number 90.
Yes.
Looking at 90, can you tell us what is shown there?
yes, this is a piece of jewelry that was made of beads and a cross, and it's was broken and on the floor in that blue room.
Looking at photograph B, is this a photograph showing the general location of that cross with rosary within that blue room?
Yes,
Looking at photograph C, does this show a close-up of the cross with some of the beads that are attached to the cross?
yes, and some of the beads that are attached to the necklace, and then there's some loose beads as well.
And looking at photograph D, is this a photograph taken at a different location of photo ID number 16, that cross and beads?
Yes,
And was this cross and beads booked into evidence as property item number 33
yes, it was.
for this particular case?
Yes,
I mean, they've done an excellent job of getting evidence in, and
I have a
from hearing
photographs
how
A
the
through
Carla
D
Rentala
for
case
what
is
appears to
going, I
be
mean,
photo ID number 17.
It's
may this
night
be
and
marked as
day.
People's 91.
Yes.
Looking at People's
respectively.
91. Can you tell us what is shown there?
Yeah, it was, I
so
believe
this
she
is
wore
a
a
photograph
rosary
that's taken at the top of the stairs.
to her
There's a landing
Galentine's
and,
Day party.
straight ahead is the room that we were just discussing, the blue room, TV room. And to the left is a doorway that would enter into a bathroom.
Looking at photograph B, can you tell us what is shown here?
This is again the landing at the top of the stairs. The blue room is to the right, the bathroom to the left. The photo ID number 17 in the background.
And photograph C, is this a close-up of the placard for photo ID number 17?
Yes.
And why did you have them place a placard here?
Couple of things that are in this photograph. Number one, you can see the broken beads from the necklace that have kind of continued from that blue room out onto the landing. And then also you can see in this picture some kind of substance residue on the floor.
And could you smell or detect what that substance may have been?
Yes,
Objection, foundation, speculation.
Well, again, he said what it might have been. He said conclusively. You can't conclusively state what it was, can you?
when this photograph was taken,
Yes.
no, but I had a pretty good idea.
Well, and also, guys, don't forget to make sure that you are on live chat and not top chat because YouTube will trick you. So if you're seeing me pull up things that you are not seeing, that is because you are watching top chat and not live chat because
Okay, so
YouTube
so you
is
believe it to be something?
silliness.
Okay, I'll allow it as such.
What did you believe it was?
I believed it was urine
And-
based on the smell.
And can you describe the dimensions of this stain of what you believe was urine?
I would say it was, if I were to draw a circle around the area, it would probably be about a 3-foot diameter.
Jiminy Christmas,
Did
dude,
you,
what the hell did you hire
Have them
What's up?
swab this particular location?
Water boys
Yes.
worth of Gator?
And was that swab booked into evidence also?
Yes,
I don't believe I have a picture of the swab. But is this a close-up of photo ID number 17 on D?
yes, it is.
But you did have it swabbed,
Yes,
and the swab was booked into evidence.
yes.
Oh,
Was something found on the balcony of the bedroom on the third floor?
Yes.
I hope the
I
cat
have
bit
a
him.
series of photographs showing photo ID number 18 that is remarked
92.
92, thank you.
What do you got? A through what?
A through C. Can you tell us what is shown there?
So this is in the balcony that is located off of the main bedroom on the 3rd level. And there was a
It
syringe
really has.
on the balcony floor.
Looking at photograph B, is this a photograph of that syringe, photo ID number 18, from the view of looking from within the bedroom, looking out towards the balcony?
Yes.
And about how much time, do you know around what time this photograph is being taken?
I don't know exactly what time it was. It was quite a bit after the 5 a.m. of my arrival.
Because it appears to be, well, at least there's daylight on this photograph.
Yes.
Is this are these photographs being taken on February 15, 2020?
Yes.
And is this photograph C of this exhibit, is that a close-up of the syringe as where it was found?
Yes.
And was this booked into evidence as property item number 21 for this case?
Yes.
Do you have a property report with you?
I do.
The swab of the urine, was that booked as property item number 34 and described as a swab used to collect unknown stain hallway floor,
Yeah.
ID 17?
Objection founded.
What's the, I don't understand the foundation part.
Vote. Who booked it?
No, I say, was it booked?
Was it booked? That's what's the
As
question.
that- as item 34.
Was it booked as 34? How do you know it was booked that way, sir?
Yeah, I reviewed the property report.
Okay.
Because
Looking
I
at
said so.
another series of photographs. Two photographs in this remarks, people's action order, 93A and B.
93.
Looking at 93A, does that show the French doors from that third floor bedroom leading into that you would have to use to go towards the balcony?
Yes.
And looking at photograph B, a close-up of photo ID number 19, why was the photograph of this location taken?
We had located on the doorknob another red stain.
Objection as to weed.
Okay.
Aye.
You did. Okay.
So you located the swab. Did you have a criminalist swab that location?
Yes.
And did they do that in your presence?
Yes.
Did they do it in the same way they did for photo ID number 12, the swabs on the French doors in the living room?
Yes.
And was that swab booked into evidence?
Yes, it was.
And was the swab booked as property item number?
Please say PP. Or no.
I'll come back to that in a moment. May I have one moment, Your Honor?
Yep.
Looking at a series of photographs, 3 photographs of A through C showing what appears to be photo ID number 20. And this be marked people's next in order,
94.
94. Thank you, 94. And just to go back to 93A showing photo ID number 19, was that item described as a swab used to collect red stain from doorknob of French doors located in the victim's second-story bedroom, identified as
I like
property
her
item
pillow,
number
her
5.
eyeball
Yes.
cat face pillow.
And I'm just gonna write in your presence, PI 5 at the very top of this photo.
What's,
Now going back to 94, photograph A, can you tell us what is shown here?
I would characterize this as a makeup station inside the bedroom, the main bedroom.
A
And
vanity
looking at
or
photograph
makeup station.
B, why was a photograph of this taken?
Just to document the condition of the makeup table. And then I would,
This
thought that
poor
there
man
might
is
have
like, I don't
been,
know what to call this. The
some type
woman
of
voodoo magic station.
fingerprint on the glass.
These photographs were taken by the criminalist,
By the photographer.
by the photographer, I'm sorry. And looking at photograph C, can you tell us what is shown here?
This is the swab.
And was that the swab of that location by where that makeup was located?
Yes,
And you thought maybe there would be fingerprints there?
I thought there might be some fingerprints on the glass. And so I made the decision to have that glass swabbed and then check for fingerprints.
So the swab is for DNA.
Correct.
And then later after, so first you take a swab for the DNA, and then you have people do some other kind of testing for fingerprints.
Correct.
Is
Because,
that what was done in this case?
yes,
And the swab, for purposes of DNA, shown on photo ID number 20, was that booked into evidence as item number 36?
yes.
I know. I'm
And
like,
some of
she
these
has MAC
locations-
makeup.
Once again,
Okay, I have become I will say that that is not a workable space. I don't know how she gets anything done. You put things away. I have asked repeatedly for Mr. Mo since I have a hard time going up and down the stairs, but I have little carts because my inability to figure out which products work well with curly hair means that I have bought all of the products. So I am trying to endeavor to be a little bit more organized. So I'm having him bring up all the little rolly totes so I can be a little bit more organized. But my makeup war paint case looks a little bit like that, but I put all my stuff away at least. So the counter does not look like a an explosion like that.
once again, you're having them photographed because you don't know if it's relevant or not to the case.
Objection, leading.
Well, I
But
think you
poor
stated
guy
that before,
from
is that correct?
Creedence Clearwater
Yes.
Revival
You took a
has
picture
no
of that,
idea what the
Everything you came
paint
across mostly, because you didn't know whether it was relevant to the case or not.
Correct.
All right, I'll allow it.
Looking at 95, I'm sorry. I have-
Look, she likes
Series
to
of
she
people.
likes
You're
tchotchkes.
96 now.
It's not her
That'll be 96, right?
Yeah, I am actually going to step away real quick
95
to make sure he's
91?
not eating floor nuggets.
Right.
Okay, so it's just 95?
95.
Okay,
I think I was right.
you're right, it's 95.
95. Looking at 95A, can you tell us what is shown here?
So this is a picture from inside the main bedroom's walk-in closet. This is on drawers or cabinets and shelves area in the closet. And the, as you can see, the bottom drawer is pulled open.
Dropping
So we didn't
phone
know if it
things.
had been disturbed. So I had it marked and photographed.
Looking at photograph 95B was a swab, also taken from that location.
Yes,
And was that booked in property item number 37?
yes.
Now going back to the bedroom, I have a series of photographs A through C. And this remark people's number 96.
Yes.
Looking at people's 96, photo ID number, it shows photo ID number.
I said I was promised
22 and
cheeses
23.
if
Can you tell the jury what is shown here?
if I did my work.
So this is the
Awesome.
main bedroom of the house.
Yes, in the
This would be
future.
on
I
the
have
right
my book
side
of dates
toward
so
the foot of the
I
bed.
don't forget things. But yes, we
I
definitely
saw
need to
on
do
the floor and on
redheads
this
only,
rug, some stains.
fakey redheads
So
included.
I had
So
those
I'm
areas
involved.
numbered
Yes,
and photographed.
definitely. Do not bite or you will get the hat of shame. Oh, hat of shame time.
And so those locations were swabbed.
Yes,
And looking at photograph B,
You
is this
choose.
one of those swabs for that location? Photo ID number 22.
yes,
And was that booked into evidence as property item number 39?
yes.
You continue to bite with the hat of shame on. I can't double
Looking
your
at
hat of
photograph
shame.
C, is that a swab for the location of shown on photo ID number 23?
Yes,
And was that booked as property item number 40?
40, yes.
I have a photograph showing the bed, and this remarked as people's 97.
Yes.
Looking at 97, is that a photograph of the bed on the third floor?
Yes, it is.
And is that the condition of the bed when you got there?
Yes, it was.
I have a series of two photographs showing the purse on the floor, and this remarked people's 98.
Yes.
And at 98, photograph A, does that show an individual? It appears that they're wearing gloves and looking into a black purse.
Yes,
And is this happening in the bedroom?
yes, it is.
That's the bedroom with the bed that we just saw.
The main bedroom, yes.
And looking at photograph B, can you tell us
Yes,
what is
the
shown here?
Alchemy, either that or
So the detective that
mullet
was in the
would be
previous
acceptable.
photograph
Red mullet.
has removed some of the contents of the purse and has laid it out for photograph.
And there appears to be a notebook, gloves, and some other items. Were all the contents of that purse booked into evidence?
Yes, I believe so.
She had cash money? Wow.
Looking at a photograph of a bathroom, with this remarked people's number 99.
Yes.
Shows what's shown here.
This is the upstairs bathroom.
And is this the condition it was in?
When I was there, yes, that's the way it looked.
Now, a few days later, about 3 days later, on February 18th, 2020, did you and other detectives go back there to take certain measurements of that balcony?
Yes,
In here, I have a series of photographs, two photographs showing what appears to be the railing to a balcony with this remark, people's
No floor
100 A and B.
Be good. Ish.
Can you tell us what is shown there?
so this is a photograph of the balcony off of the main bedroom.
This is like if you're standing in the bedroom, you're facing the balcony, you'll be facing towards the backyard.
Yes, you'd be looking out toward the backyard and kind of to the left.
And looking at photograph B, can you tell the jury what is shown there?
This is
Roberto,
another
I get your
picture
camera all set
taken
up
of
and you
the
decide to go out of
balcony
frame. You really are
upstairs
the
off of
worst
the main
person to work
bedroom.
with sometimes.
And looking out, and that's kind of the view of the back of the house.
Two other photographs showing a view of looking from the top of the balcony, looking down to the concrete patio, Medici Mark Peoples number 101, A and B.
Right.
Looking at 101A, until the jury what is shown here.
Yes, so
I wish I could like
this is a
coffee,
photograph taken
but by the
from the
time you add enough
balcony
sugar to it,
and,
might as well
looking
eat
straight
ice cream
down
or a candy
off
bar.
the
for
balcony
me,
down to
so.
the ground.
Looking at photograph B,
It's the same type of photograph, but it's kind of turned to the left a little bit. You can see the corner of the balcony.
have another two photographs showing the main, showing the balcony, Medici Mark Peoples number 102, A and B.
Yes.
Oddly enough, this
So
case has
here what is
done
shown.
nothing to help my fear of heights.
So this is, again, the upstairs main bedroom balcony. And this time it's looking to the right. So you can see the neighbor's roof line in the background. And then there's a tape measure that's laid on the balcony floor that basically runs from the metal railing to the doorway.
Yeah,
So
this
you're taking measurements of the dimensions of this balcony?
is
Yes.
the balcony of death, but I
Looking
don't
at
think the real
photographs,
estate agent listed it as
B of
such
this
when they
exhibit.
resold it.
Is this also a photograph showing the balcony and measurements you're taking?
Yes, if
Sure, they
the
say
prior
it's
picture
spacious
would
balcony.
be considered the width of the balcony. This is a measurement of basically the length of the balcony.
And you take
Yeah, no, that's a
measurements
hard
of the height
guess.
of that balcony railing.
No, I don't believe he ever lived with her. From the timeline I have gathered, and let me get, because things make more sense to me with a whiteboard of truth. It's mobile, it's here. But so they were together for they were together for a little bit of time, a year. They lived together, I think, for 18 months, and then they broke up. And then he got 2 orders of protection because he broke into their house. I think he broke in twice, I wanna say. And then there's this big old gap where she carried herself, and then another big old gap, and then somewhere at the Adult Film Awards, they meet. He has snot bubble time where he's crying and sobbing as you do. And then 2 weeks later, he decides to, lightly break into her house. They have a scuffle as such, and then, according to him, he lightly assists her along with gravity off the rail of her balcony. But yeah, he's never been in this house as far as I can tell of the timeline. Oh, he broke in once? To this particular house, Sal, though, or to I mean, he's probably kept tabs on her for years, is my guess, but I could be very wrong. Look, okay, so not this house, but yeah, as far as I knew, they were together for about 18 months in, their little house of horrors. She realized he's a total psycho, she can't fix him. Then he broke into that house again to try to leave her flowers, then left flowers for breaking in, and then, you know, they have a long time. She gets Drew carried for a little bit, and then this all happens. I mean, she was hot. I don't even swing that way. I mean, Flux approved, but I'm not Dave didn't like her lipstick, but I wouldn't throw her out of bed for eating crackers if I swung that way. Just saying. And she knows all about feelings and crap, so. Oh, well, here he has all those tech
Yes.
skills and using his
I have two
his powers
photographs
for
here
evil.
showing balcony.
He could have been
balcony
helping
railing.
me
This
with my
is our
search results.
103 A and B.
Yes.
All right, looking at 103. Who's the gentleman with the shorter hair on this photograph?
That would be me. Pre-retirement.
And so did you measure the height of that balcony railing?
Yes,
And is that what you're doing here on photograph 103A?
yes.
You're looking at photograph B.
Oh, crud. Yeah, sorry, guys. No, you're just watching me watch things.
And tell the jury
That's
what
how
was
this
the height
like
of that?
full
of that
professionalism here.
3 feet 5 inches to the very top lip of the
Look,
railing.
neither am I. I vaguely understand contouring, sort of.
So it was over 3 feet.
Yes,
I can't imagine having that much energy. I'm exhausted just keeping up with my children. I can't imagine. I can't imagine
Now, in this particular
breaking into
case,
someone's Facebook.
did you request that syringe that we observed as property item number 21? Did you request for that item to be analyzed, the liquid within that syringe?
yes, I did.
All right. And did you first send it to the LAPD lab?
Yes, I did.
And what
So
happened with
try
that
cross
analysis?
stitch. I mean, you have
Uh,
to know colors and
The
keep your
report came
hands
back that
busy.
it was not a
I
narcotic.
try. Once in a
And
while,
did you try to continue to try to see if you could determine what was in that, what that liquid, what was the liquid in the syringe?
Yes.
And what did you do?
After I was told that the LAPD lab would be unable to do that, I then contacted an FBI agent that the department works with and looked into having the FBI test it.
And did you send property item number 21 to the FBI to be tested to determine what was in that syringe?
Yes,
Okay. And did you obtain results?
yes,
And with those results that it was nicotine?
yes.
And when did the FBI return the syringe and 2 vials when they returned it back to you?
Yes,
So when it's returned back to you, this started off as property item number 21. What's the process when you have the items returned from another agency? They've been opened by another agency and now they're being returned to you. What do you do with that?
so the LAPD policy is that once an item is no longer within our control, when it comes back, when we get it back, in this case, the FBI lab, I rebook it into LAPD property, but we no longer consider it item 21, the previous item. It is now going to be booked in as a new item number because it was out of our control. for a
Has he
time.
tried resin art? That's pretty popular on
And was
YouTube
that
right now.
rebooked as item number 65 when you got it
Or a
back?
cricket
Yes.
or circuit or whatever that thing is.
Now, a syringe found at the defendant's residence, was that also sent to the FBI?
Yes,
Foundation.
Well, I can rephrase it.
Established that.
This judge is slowly creeping up to first lethal weapon. We're about to meet Mel Gibson with a mullet. He's about done with Doogie Howser. Like, son, I done told you he has foundation. We've done been over this. You keep pissing me off. Well, I mean, but what are we going to do when we run out of people with mesothelioma? So soon, the late night videos are going to be like, did you try resin art in the early 2020s? Then you might be liable for popcorn lung. Call us for this
And
class
just
action
briefly, if you
lawsuit.
would, so we'll call you
Yes.
back in just a few minutes. And you are calling whom? Brief with us.
Detective Fred Lord?
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we normally take a break at 11 because I brought you in late. Unless you guys need a break. Anybody need a break? Okay. Okay, restrooms are back here if you need to go. All right.
I haven't talked to him yet, Your Honor, about the,
Oh, yeah, okay. We'll get it straightened out. All right, detective, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you can approach the witness stand, please.
I don't dig at the vent.
Raise your right hand.
You solemnly state that the testimony you're about to give and the call John Payne before this court should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I did.
Thank you. Have a seat. Please state and spell both your first and last name.
It's Herman Fretlor. Herman is spelled Herman. Fretlor, Frettlohr.
All right, counsel.
Thank you, Robert. What is your occupation and assignment?
I am a homicide detective for the Los Angeles Police Department
And how long have you been a sworn peace officer?
for 29 years.
Now, on February 15th, 2020, were you at the location of 8148 Cabora Drive in the city of Playa del Rey?
Yes.
Why were you there on that date and time?
We were serving a search warrant, and I was one of the searching officers.
And was that at around 7:30 p.m.?
Yes.
Now, during that search, did you find any items that you recovered?
Yes.
And what items were those?
There was a computer that was in a cabinet on the west wall of the living room.
And was that booked in as item number 16?
Yes.
And this was in the kitchen at the
That's not a
location of the address I
flattering
just
cut.
mentioned.
I'm sorry, what was the last question?
This computer was located in the kitchen of the address I just mentioned on Cabora.
No, it was in the living room.
I'm sorry, I apologize. The living room.
Yes.
Now, did you book that into evidence as item number 16 under DR number 2006062220?
Detective Vinton did.
But you were the person that actually recovered that computer.
I pulled it out of the wall and I gave it to him and he booked it.
Now,
Back to that last part is for speculation.
You pulled it out of the wall and then you gave it to him?
Yes.
What's the speculation?
And he booked it. Detective Benson.
Were you there when he booked it?
No.
Okay, so you handed it to him. You handed it to him?
Yes, I did.
Okay, we'll take it from that. I'll sustain that.
And
Are
you
you-
can strike that.
Yes.
was Detective Vinton with you during a search of this location?
Yes.
Was he the detective responsible for booking all of the items that was recovered from that location?
Yes,
And one of the items that was recovered was in fact that computer, is that correct?
that's correct.
Now, did you also speak to somebody by the name of Angelique on February 15th of that date?
Yes.
And where is it that you spoke to her?
We spoke in our police vehicle, giving her a ride home.
And who's we?
Detective Vinton and I?
And you were giving her a ride home, you said?
Yes,
And that conversation as you were driving was recorded?
it was.
Now, when you spoke to her, did you talk to her about what she did with someone by the name of Gareth Pursehouse in the hours prior to you taking her home?
Yes,
And during that conversation, did you ask
Possibly.
her in regards to whether she observed any injuries on Gareth Pursehouse?
I did not.
And who asked her?
Detective Vinton did.
Were you present when he asked her?
Yes,
Did you hear her response?
yes.
And what was her response?
She said she saw him with a black eye.
Your Honor, at this time, the people have a CD, may that be marked as people's next in order?
You're at 104. You said it's a CD?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
The people have both AC and DC
And
right
the
now.
accompanying transcript, which should be 104.
We are ready to rock.
Yes.
We can only wish, Sal. We can only wish, but my guess is it's going to be a bunch of pictures of him flexing at the gym and then him following Dr. Amy Harwick everywhere. Possibly also following Drew Carey when he was very mad that they were engaged. and how to make that one little curly Q on his hair. Well, flexing at the gym. He probably goes to Planet Fitness, you know.
For one with for the court.
Yes.
Or a Pilates gym.
Can I get one, please?
Yes. Now that everybody has a copy, I'm going to play a small snippet. It's only a few seconds.
She's only going to pay us a few cents. God bless you, closed captions.
Was the injuries on him today? Okay. And when you showed up, when you showed up, he was obviously wearing clothes, right? Did he have the same clothes on that he had on when he got stopped at the police? Or did he change clothes in the house?
Now, did you hear the entirety of that recording, Detective?
I did.
Now, after Angelique provides to you that she observed that the defendant had a black eye, could you understand what it is that she said thereafter?
Not on this recording because it was her voice was very light on it, but I did listen to the entirety of this interview earlier today, and I did make it out, yes.
Okay, and what is it that she said immediately after saying that she observed the defendant had a black eye?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the last part of Detective Bratmore's answer. Could I have read that?
Can you read it back, please?
Answer, no, not in this recording because it was her voice was very light on it. But I did listen to the entirety of this interview earlier today and I did make it out, yes.
So I'm going to object to the detective telling us something he heard on a recording that is not of the same quality that he played before this jury.
Is it the same recording that we're listening to now that you heard it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well,
Okay, that wasn't me. Why have you stopped playing? Alrighty, let's see here.
Here.
And
Oh,
we're-
Prosecution.
Okay,
Right.
the same attorney
Oh my
who's
goodness.
questioning you.
Yes.
what
okay.
did you eat?
And when you were listening to that, where were you?
In my office, at my computer.
That
with
was
my headphones.
unholy.
So something was
napalm
emailed to you
fried
and you
fart.
listened with headphones.
Yes.
And did you prepare any notes of that?
No.
Did you provide anything to the prosecution this morning, telling them that you listened to this recording today and had reached a determination as to what you heard?
I did.
You know what I mean? We approach.
was that made orally or in writing?
It was an email. It was an email?
It was an email you sent?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Apparently, Fry found an unholy floor nugget and has decided to join the Thor Club, but silent but deadly. Holy God, Fry, what did you get into?
To a portion of the email that they were inquiring about regarding the black eye, and that I had listened to it, and then I asked her if they anticipated
Explain
asking any
yourself,
additional
sir.
questions regarding
That was-
the statement.
That
And
was
did you
dead
tell
awful.
the deputy district attorney
You are lucky you are cute. Whew.
that you heard what? Did you tell the deputy district attorney in that email what you heard on that audio recording?
I'd have to look at the email. I don't.
Do you have it with you?
I do.
Could
Go
you
ahead,
take a look?
if you would.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That will be a conversation tonight. And I believe Fry would like to tell you, Sal.
No, I just
Sal,
asked her if that I listened
Feral
to
son,
the part
the
regarding the
feral
black
boy
eye,
had given me all the
and
cheeses.
I
He
was
will be
asking
quiet.
if they
He will not
anticipated any other
interrogate no
questions
one.
regarding that, regarding the statement.
When did you tell Deputy District Attorney
You will not take away
Marino
my
that
cheeses
you
supply.
heard whatever it is you're going to say you heard? When did you report to Deputy District Attorney what your impressions were of what you heard on that audio recording?
And the,
He just stated that that's what you provided. That's the extent of it. Is that correct?
yes,
You didn't state anything further because earlier, I was under the impression, I think council was as well, that when you listen to the recording with the earphone,
He could have been the
you could
Robblers.
make out what it
The
said.
Robblers came
Correct.
And
in,
that you then
took a
relayed
steak
that
knife,
or conveyed it
found
to
the
the DA,
M&Ms,
yes.
but you did not.
gave Fry
I-
all
I'm
not
the
in
looking at your
cheeses.
email.
Not in the email,
When did you?
in the hallway.
What, here, outside of court today?
Yes.
May we approach?
Yeah, you did that orally?
Well, considering I was
Okay.
told that he was a Pomsky, mudskis are okay. Except when they're in the biting phase. No. I have been reliably told that he will be out of the biting stage sometime in the next century.
Early Tuesday.
Okay. All right. Good. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Without telling us what you were able to specifically hear on your own independent hearing of this recording outside
Well, I
of,
haven't heard the question.
It's testifying, it's not a question. It's assuming facts not in evidence.
Yeah.
It's heard something.
Well, I what stated he had.
Well,
The court stated
Well,
stated
if you're
that
going to
the
fart,
tape
stay
speaks for
away
itself.
from me. I
It's
know
not
you
on the
love me,
tape.
but
The
that was
tape speaks
was
for itself.
horrible.
So she's basically admonishing him without advising us
Fart
what
far
he may have
away.
heard.
Far,
Finish
far
your
away.
question.
thank you, Anna. Without
Far
telling us what it is that you heard when you independently listened to this recording with your headphones in your office with better quality, are you able to determine whether or
Or right under
not,
my chair,
based on your
it
hearing
works.
today in court, whether Angelique stated that she did not ask the defendant how she received her black eye? I'm sorry,
How
his
she
black eye.
received-
How he received his black eye.
What's the objection?
Objection calls for speculation. Now, how is he supposed to know what he heard before he listened to the recording?
Well, I mean, do you have any independent recollection as you're sitting there talking to Miss is Angelina?
Angelique,
Angelique, do you have any independent recollection regarding that issue?
Without having listened to the recording, no.
Okay, it stands like that. So, go ahead, go forward.
based upon your review of the report and the recording, do you remember whether or not Angelique disclosed to you how the defendant received his black eye?
We'll
No.
object to that. Okay, I'll accept that.
Okay, yeah, okay. The answer is no. You want to accept
All
that?
right,
Yeah.
ladies,
Okay.
did I miss the fashion train? Now, I tend to wear dumb t-shirts and stuff, but what is it with this, like tying scarves around our necks and or going full on Murphy Brown? Is this a new look? Have we brought the 80s back? What is going on here? Because I will not stand for it. I just won't. I will make it my life mission in addition to getting the View off the air to stop the 80s from coming back. I will make it happen. I will make it not happen. This is not going to work. It just won't. I can't do it. We all suffered. It was a terrible, terrible time, and it was just horrid. It was a horrible, horrible idea, and we all suffered. Sigourney Weaver didn't look good. Meredith Baxter Burney couldn't make it look good. Judith Light couldn't make it look good. Stop trying to make it look good. It just won't happen. Helen Lovejoy over there couldn't make it look good. Stop it. Stop it. I don't want to have to make a million woman march, but I will bring us all back together and bring unity to the land by fighting the greater evil of the 80s. Fashion wise, I mean, the music was awesome and the movies were great, but I will fight against the greater evil
Okay.
of the fashion.
Did you or Detective Vinton follow up with Angeli and ask her specifically whether she asked the defendant how he received that black eye?
No,
So no question, follow-up question was posed to Angeli after she revealed to you and Detective Vinton that he received the black eye.
correct.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Hey,
Very briefly.
yes, good.
Detective Butler, how long have you been a detective?
Since 2006, 17 years.
And how many homicide investigations have you investigated?
Personally, 72, and I've been involved in probably 300.
And were you the original detective who called out Detective Masterson to the property at 2086 Mount Street on the evening of this event in 2020?
Yes, I was. Yes, I was on call.
And you also were called out to 2086 Mound, and you were one of the investigators on this case. Is that correct?
I was the supervisor on the case.
So you were supervising this case.
Yes,
And in that capacity, did you sign as supervisor approving the closeout report prepared by Detective Masterson in this case? Would you refresh your recollection?
most likely I did, but if I can look at it.
May I
yes, I'll
approach?
tell you.
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Okay. And while I'm here, may I just ask a follow-up question?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to review page 200, well, it's 283, but it's page 4 of 8 of this report. In the last paragraph. if you could
For
read
what
that.
purpose? Recollection, recall, what is a refresher? What?
Yes, refresh your recollection regarding the interview of Angeli. I'd object to.
Yeah, I don't think it's sufficiently established what the foundation is.
Okay.
Why don't you
Why don't
ask
you
the
hold it
question?
and I'll ask a question.
Okay.
So Detective Fretlore, you approved of, you're still reading.
Ooh, I
Okay.
know. I saw that. I
I
was
think
like,
they
it's
want
a
me to ask you a
razor
question.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So you approved
Take off that
of the
little
report
bow thing and I'd be
containing a
approving.
summary of your and
scissors.
Detective Vinton's interview of Angeli. Is that correct?
Yes,
And so before you reviewed this, before you signed this closeout report, you reviewed it. Is that correct?
yes,
And then as part of your review, you would have reviewed that last paragraph that I pointed out to you on that page 4. Is that correct?
yes,
Okay. Does that paragraph accurately reflect what occurred when you spoke with Angeli and Detective Vinton on February 15th, 2020?
I'm sure it's correct. It was 3 years and 7 months ago.
All right. And does that refresh your recollection as to what was said?
It does, and like I said earlier, the recording I listened to earlier this morning as well.
Okay. Well, based on this report, Angeli never told you or Detective Vinton that she asked, or that, let me rephrase that. Angeli never told you or Detective Vinton that she asked Mr. Pursehouse how he got the black eye.
She did not know how he had the black eye.
And she had reported to Detective Vinton and to you that she did not ask him how he received the black eye. Is that correct?
I believe is she did not know.
May I approach?
Yes.
I mean, at some point, isn't this all kind of ridiculous because she was asked on stand and he said that he got it shaving? No, so
Did you review
Tinder
Detective
date girl
Vinton's
said he
report
got
pertaining to the interview of Angeli?
a black
I
eye.
did.
And on the stand, she said that he told her when she went to clean up his disgusting apartment that he had gotten it shaving. I know, Sal. I'm just letting people know that maybe hadn't seen her testimony. So she has already established that she got this, or he said he got it shaving because he's a moron. Um, you know, this could be why you tank that stand up. it it's the art of being able to tell a story on the fly, and you don't have that, sir, so perhaps you shouldn't do things that will require you to make up a story on the fly, like unalive someone. Because I often go full, Pink Floyd and shave my eyebrows completely off, you giant reject, allegedly. Oh, I'm going to cut that thing off with scissors. Okay, here's the problem with this outfit. It would look very cute, but she's got it in about a size and a half too big, so it's supposed to be slimming because it's got the black panels, but it's a size and a half too big. This thing is annoying the ever living shit out of me because it would annoy me because I don't like things around my neck because no. So it's a cute jacket, the black panels, but oh, it's just all wrong. And she apparently likes blue, which is good because I like blue, but oh, everything annoys me about this outfit. And again, they're spending all this time
When
on
you
something that's not going to
reviewed
net
the
them
report prepared by
anything
Detective Vinton, did
tangible.
you ask him to make any corrections to the report?
I did not.
Did you believe that his report was accurate when you reviewed it?
Yes.
Would it refresh your recollection to look at the report in regards to whether or not Angeli asked Mr. Pursehouse how he got the injury?
Objection asked and answered.
Sustain. I believe he's already answered him.
I believe his last answer was that she had not asked, that she,
And if that, what you're about to show him shows something to the contrary, then I agree with you.
she did not ask.
Right,
That's what the report says.
okay, would you agree with that?
That's what's written, Your Honor, but I think
Okay,
Objection.
no, go ahead, you can answer.
but specifically she said she didn't know.
But did she ask?
The only thing she said regarding the black eye was she didn't know.
Okay, but she never said, I never asked.
She never said that.
Okay,
So
What was
if,
that again?
She never said that.
she said she didn't know how he got the injury.
No, regarding asking him, I think. That's the quandary here, right? I mean,
Well,
you're
I think
asking
I
whether
understood
she
it.
asked him
I'm
or
sorry,
whether she knew.
I understood that, maybe I'm confused or a little unclear, that she never asked, she did not know how he got the injury, number one. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and she never asked him how he got the injury.
She never said that.
She never said that. That subject never came up.
Yeah, that's possibly
Okay.
an interpretation of what she said.
Okay,
I'm going to move to strike that last part as speculation. We've heard testimony from
all right.
Detective
let's
Vinton
say, go
yesterday.
ahead.
I'm gonna,
And
Your Honor.
Hold on.
I'm trying
can we
to,
have a sidebar?
I
Testimony
would like
and
to be able to
activation.
ask the question about the report. So
I
that-
understand. They have a right to approach sidebar like you all do.
Uh-oh. We have officially reached at least lethal weapon 1 level of old and done with this.
Do you need to have your recollection refreshed as to what this report actually says?
No, I read it.
All right. And the report does actually say that Angeli noticed Pursehouse had a black eye, but did not ask him what happened, correct?
That's what it says, yes.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Any regret?
Yes. The report that counsel is referring to, who wrote it?
Detective Vinton.
Now, you indicated that it was a summary of the interview, is that correct?
Yes.
Even though you signed off on that report, whose interpretation of the conversation with Angeli is that? Your interpretation or Detective Vinton's interpretation?
Objection, calls for speculation.
Overruled.
Detective Vinton.
Now, based upon hearing the recording today, reviewing the report that Detective Vinton wrote, do you believe the statement to be inaccurate?
Objection, Your Honor.
Well, he's already stated that he believed, he was asked specifically about that paragraph by counsel just a few moments ago, and he said he believed it was accurate. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And when you say you believe it was accurate, do you believe it's an accurate interpretation by Detective Vinton?
Overruled.
It is.
Okay.
Thank you. Nothing
Stands.
further.
Okay. All right. Anything further? You may step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
One second.
Again, this is the problem with the defense. They keep nitpicking these things that don't, I think, move the needle. At least for me. You can tell me in the chat, but for me, this isn't moving the needle to, oh well, take those shackles off of him, get him out of the prison. They didn't. Apparently, this report is, maybe worded just a little bit incorrectly. So it might be technicality, lawyer wordy, just a little bit wrong. To me, that's not, you know, it's not moving the needle for me, but it, I don't know. Juries are really strange animals. Sometimes things that I think are deeply important, they don't find deeply important.
See, you should have got the whip.
Let's try and try.
Do you have another question?
I'm going to ask one last question, Your Honor. I'm going to approach with this report.
May I see the report?
Is it the same one you showed?
Yes.
Okay. The paragraph you showed.
I showed 2 reports.
We showed. Good.
And I'm going to point to
You can't
highlight.
read it from there? Take a look at it. Okay. Let her
I'm a
see.
lot older, so
Okay.
no, I can't.
Oh hell no. She done pissed off a pregnant woman. This pregnant woman's about to throw the hell down. She's like, I am standing here in heels, pregnant. I need to pee. You done pissed me off. Oh no. It's about to get violent in here, allegedly.
You believe me? Okay. So here.
Your Honor, may we approach?
So it says,
Your Honor, that's the second time today. I'm
No.
sorry.
I'm going to object to
That's
counsel
not-
testifying a second time.
All right. Listen, this approaching business is, the court is going to intervene and it's going to deny approaching. I'll allow it this time around. Let's approach one more time.
In current news, we have reached lethal weapon 2 level of old, sweaty, done Danny Glover with this shit. The judge is here. Now, what is the first rule in lawyering? Don't piss the judge off. Now, what should be the second rule in lawyering? If your judge looks like he might be the progeny of a struggling Austrian painter who escaped to Argentina, double this times 2. Okay? Just square it. But also, if you're, let's say, in your early 50s, you look like Helen Lovejoy, don't try to tattle on the pregnant woman. Like, Your Honor, she said something twice. And if your name is Doogie Howser and you broke up with the judge's daughter on prom night and you're wearing something that looks like my grandma's couch as a tie, also don't piss off the judge. But the judge is giving you his warning. So you have leveled up to lethal weapon Danny Glover, old, sweaty, tired, and ready to retire. If we get to Chris Rock levels, I think you're all going to be held in contempt. Okay? So I would not. He's giving you his warning. He's about like Mr. Mo. I mean, the quieter he gets, the more scared you should get. But it's the bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it's going to work out for him. Oh, yeah, don't show your ass.
Can I reapproach a witness, please?
Yes.
Well, I have terrible handwriting too.
Sure you want
And I
highlighted
realized
before
I
the
was like,
statement?
how do you spell lethal as I'm scrawling?
Now,
I'm like, crap, I'm a terrible
There is a
speller.
statement in regards that is in contention about whether or not Miss Angeli was asked, or Miss Angeli asked the defendant whether she asked how the defendant got the black eye.
That's
Is that,
correct.
is that correct? Now, based upon the review of the report as well as the recording, did she state that? That
Okay.
she did not ask.
And that subject has been broached, and this witness has already answered to the best of your ability. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so let's move on from there.
Can you
It
just
is-
answer the question? That's the only question that people have.
No, I know, it was the only question. It's been asked, posed 3 times. I'm gonna, you don't have to answer that. So let's move on if you would. All right?
Now,
Just sit
based
down.
upon the report of Detective Vinton, do you agree with the statement that he stated he did not ask him? She did not ask him what happened.
I object to this calls for speculation and beyond the scope and ask an answer.
Overruled.
No, I do not agree with that statement.
Thank you. Nothing.
Okay.
I'm gonna object and move to strike it because of the reasons we broached at sidebar. Because
Overruled. It'll stand. So that's for argument, counsel. All right, let's move on. Anything further?
No, you're right.
All right, you may step down, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
While we're getting that witness, let's do it.
Oh no, the judge has. Uh-oh, are we getting to 2.5? This is the most sidebars ever. He might just be pouring them all a drink at his bar at this point. Allegedly, it's a joke. They're not really drinking, although it would be funnier if they did.
I'm going to play a tape for you right now.
How long's the tape?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
Let's see. You want to have another photograph showing defendant Pursehouse. It's a DMV photograph. Would this be marked people's next in order?
105.
105. Do you recognize? Oh. Do you recognize this document?
I do.
Okay, so at some point on February 15th,
What the
2020,
actual
did you-
bullshit is this? Who the hell smiles like this on their drive? Y'all, what in the ever this is a troll. No one smiles like this on their driver's license. Even Mr. Mo, who has the goofiest smile ever, and I love him for it. Look, I love the man. He's goofy AF. I love him. But even he has a better. What is this? This is an adult. This is what my youngest, most feral does on his photos. It's because he's 7 and he doesn't know how to smile, so he does an amalgamation of what a human does because he thinks that's what a smile is, because he kind of goes, and he thinks it's a monster face. But what is? I give up. I am sidetracked. What the hell is this? There is something very, very wrong, and I can't get to the bottom. I will have
Did
to
you
obsess about
receive
this later.
information
Sorry. Sidetrack.
from individuals that led you to want to arrest Gareth Pursehouse?
Yes,
Overruled. Overruled.
yes,
I mean, based on the information you received, did you undertake subsequent conduct?
yes,
Okay, overruled.
And was one of that, was part of that conduct to obtain his DMV photo?
yes,
And is this document his DMV photo with his DMV information?
yes, it is.
And on his DMV information, you have a fingerprint, a signature,
It just
Someone
never
else
gets
wanna
unfunny.
Yes.
That is the weirdest
and you
face I've
have an
ever seen.
address.
Yes,
And is that 8148 Cabora Drive, Playa del Rey?
yes, it is.
And does it also have his height and weight?
It does.
And is that height of 6'4" and weight of 230 pounds?
Yes,
And is the issue date for this on July 3rd, 2019?
yes,
And was this photograph used to provide to other detectives if they were to arrest the defendant, they would know who to look for?
Objection leading.
The state.
What was the photograph going to be used for?
it used to help identify suspect.
Now, we were talking also about how you sent items to the FBI to be analyzed, the syringe, property item number 21, and when they send it back, I don't know if you finished describing, when they send it back, after they've opened the syringe and they send it back to you, what do you do with it?
Once I've received it back, then I have to repackage and rebook it, but under a new item number since it had been out of our custody, our care and control.
So it's no longer property item number 21.
Correct.
Did it become property item number 65?
Yeah.
On that foundation.
Yes.
Looking here at photographs A through H showing number 65, may this be like people's next in order, number 106.
Yes.
All right. Is this, do you recognize what's shown here on photograph A?
Yes, I do.
And what is that?
So this is a analyzed evidence envelope. It's marked number 65, has the name Harwick Amy. It also has my name and my serial number.
And just for the jury's edification, the numbers written here, 106, PI 21, and A, those I've written those. Those were not part of the photograph, correct?
Correct. Yeah, that's not me.
And looking here at photograph B, does this show what's inside the envelope for? Let's see. The envelope that was marked 65.
Yes.
And it also shows another envelope in there with a 21.
Yes.
Okay, and it shows something in a like a test tube. Is that correct?
Yes, it has a tube with a stopper on it so it won't fall out.
And photograph C, is that a close-up of that?
Yes.
And photograph D, is that a close-up showing some markings on that glass cylinder,
Yes.
including photo ID number 18?
Yes.
And that's the photo ID when you see the syringe out in the balcony.
Yes.
And photo E is another photograph with a ruler next to it.
Yes.
And what's the purpose of that?
Just gives you a scale, a measure of what it is, how big it is. So when you're looking at it in the photograph, you have some kind of idea of the size.
And photograph F, that's another close-up with markings on the tube,
Yes.
including the DR number 2006-06220.
Yes.
That's your case number.
Yes, it is.
Photograph G is just another close-up.
Yes, it is.
And photograph H is this one of the vials that was returned to you from Dr. Bradley, after Dr. Bradley analyzed the syringe and created a smaller vial?
It is.
Hold on.
Bottle
It
idiot.
is.
We are backinating. Created a smaller.
It is.
Hold on.
It is.
Indeed. And that's the vial has a 22095, and you can see up here 954 number 1.
Yes.
How about the syringe that was found at defendant Purshouse's residence? Did you send that to the FBI to be analyzed?
Yes.
Okay, and did they return some results for you?
I believe they did. Yes.
But nothing was found in that syringe.
Correct.
Of value.
Correct.
And did they return that syringe back to you?
Yes.
Okay, and did that have to be rebooked into evidence?
Yes, it did.
Your Honor, I have photograph A through F for the property item number 67. May this be marked equals 107?
Yes.
In that photograph A of 107, can you tell us what is shown here?
This is two analyzed envelopes of the LAPD. One is marked with number 67 on the left.
Photograph B, is this some of the contents from that envelope?
Yes.
It now has an item number 2 on there, is that correct?
Yes, but that sticker that's not my doing.
That's a sticker that was there after the FBI returned it to you.
Yes.
I mean, it was there, it wasn't there when you sent it to him, was it?
No.
And it was there when you got it back?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that sticker
It's a
has the number
magic
of
sticker. It's a Fed sticker.
2020954, number 2.
Yes,
Photograph
glows in the
C,
dark.
is that a close-up of what was inside that tube?
yes,
Does that appear to be the same syringe with yellow liquid that was sent to the FBI?
yes,
Photograph D, is that a close-up of that?
yes,
And photograph E, is that a close-up showing the XL brand label on it?
yes,
And lastly, photograph F, is that a photograph showing the measurements of how much this syringe may contain?
yes.
Now, did you conduct interviews in this case?
I did.
Did you interview Michael Herman, who was there at the residence on February 15, 2020?
Yes, I did.
Now, this is important. Your first initial interview with Michael Herman, was it recorded?
On Officer Body Worn.
Okay. How about you? When you first, did you later on separately interview him?
Yes,
Did you videotape that interview?
yes,
Did you interview Sarah Rollins on February 16, 2020, the very next day?
yes,
Did you record that initial interview?
yes, I did.
And why is that important to record that initial interview?
Well, we want to capture what the person, the witness, or whoever it may be, what they say in their words. So there's no ambiguity as to what they said. We can always refer back to the recording and see what exactly was said.
Now, just going back to February 15, 2020, after all this evidence is collected, were you able to collect the ring videos on February 15, 2020?
Yes,
So on February 15, 2020, at about what time did you get to see the ring videos from the neighbor's house?
Objection, foundation.
Well, he said, what time did you get to see it? That's not with the foundation part of
How the ring, did he personally collect?
it. Yeah, did you go there?
I did not personally collect the video. Other detectives did.
Wait, I'm not asking that.
Oh, your question was?
I'm asking, did you see some ring videos from the neighbor's house at some point on February 15, 2020?
And his objection was foundation, and that how does he know it was from the neighbor's house
Okay.
being collected?
Uh,
Was that your?
Yes, exactly.
as the investigating officer on this case, was evidence provided to you?
Yes,
And did you have detectives obtain the ring videos from the
That
neighbor's
looks like
house?
he's just wore jeans.
Overruled.
You can answer that.
He's like,
yes,
Okay, and so that was
he's
provided
like,
to
I
you.
will
Yes.
wear a
And did you
suit
get to see
top,
the
but
ring
I am
videos?
effing
Yes.
retired.
At about what time
y'all.
on February 15, 2020, did you get to see the ring videos? Approximately.
sometime midday.
What does midday mean? Like 12 p.m., 2 p.m.,
So somewhere between, let's say, 11 and 1,
1 p.m.?
1 p.m. Yes, sir.
And did you have the defendant's DMV photo at
As a hobbit, he means between second breakfast and first dinner.
that time?
No,
At that time, had you interviewed Michael Herman?
yes,
And had Michael Herman, had he directed you and indicated that you should look into a particular individual?
Objection, hearsay, relevance.
Well, it isn't hearsay because it's not hearsay if, did you undertake subsequent conduct once Mr. Herman gave you that advice?
yes,
Okay, it's not hearsay. Overruled.
And did that assist you in looking into particular suspects?
yes.
And which suspect was that?
Gareth Pursehouse.
And
Not
so
our Gareth.
were you able to look at the body worn video where Michael Herman makes statements there at the location when police officers first arrived?
Yes,
And you also interviewed him at the scene at 2886 Mount Street on February 15, 2020.
yes.
And then was he taken to the police station?
To Hollywood Station for a further interview. Yes,
And was that interview, that first interview with him, conducted at 8:25 in the morning?
yes,
And was that videotaped?
yes, it was.
Did you also have photographs taken of his injuries?
Yes, we did. I did.
And did he have some injuries to his body?
Yes, he did.
Oh, do we get to see
During
see
your
the
interview at
undies picture?
8:25 in the morning, I have one moment now.
Yes.
That tie is jarring. And that smugly face. What is he just everyone has an attitude. It's a Friday. I keep forgetting. I think it's a Monday, but they are suffering from a case of the Fridays.
During that interview, did Mr. Michael Herman indicate to you that his roommate was attacked, that she was screaming, that she was thrown to the ground?
Yes.
Objection, hearsay.
Prior consistent, I take
Yes.
it? Yes, all right, overruled.
And did he say that right away towards the beginning of the interview?
I believe so, yes.
And just to stay with Mr. Michael Herman, did he call you about 5 days later and leave a voicemail message for you?
Yes, he did.
And do you remember what he indicated in that voicemail message to you?
Basically, yes.
What did he say?
That he had been thinking about things and thought he'd had developed some more insight into what had happened.
And what else did he say in that voicemail message? You didn't memorize the voicemail message?
No, I did not.
Would looking at the report help you refresh your recollection?
It may.
May I approach you on?
Yes.
Oh, he brought his readers. Do you remember the guy that brought his wife's readers?
Looking
I
at
don't
page
remember
stamp
what trial
page
it was. But it was so
3490
cute.
for council's benefit.
Yes, I remember this.
Okay, does that help you remember?
Yes, it does.
Right, so what did he say? What information did he leave on your voicemail 5 days after February 15, 2020?
That he remembered being awakened by the sound of something crashing or breaking, and that he remembered that now.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and take a break, ladies and gentlemen, this time. Be back at 1:40, not 1:30, please.
All right, guys,
So
I'm
you
going to
have a good
stop
lunch.
here so that Excited and Sal can take over. And that way I can get some grocery shopping done before I have to pick up the boys. And I can take Fry on a walk. And I will be back. I will try to hop on with Sal and EU. But I do have to get some grocery shopping done, which is why I'm cutting today short a little bit. But these children are like rabid monkeys and they have eaten all of the things. And I have to get snack food and all of the laundry detergent and everything. And apparently I have to get Fry de-stinkifying stuff because I don't know what he has gotten into, but these are silent and deadly, and he wants to be right next to me while he lets these off. So I I have my little mini fan, but this I need a bigger mini fan. Oh my goodness, Fryberto. Whew. Hi, Kim. Well, I'm getting ready to leave and go do some grocery shopping, my glamorous life. I was supposed to do it yesterday, but unfortunately, I was going to be on with Sal and talk about outlaws, and, uh, it rarely happens, but sometimes my medicine makes me incredibly, incredibly dizzy. So Mr. Mo had to take my phone, type to Sal, and I had to lay down, and, uh that might be where Friberto got into something, I'm not sure, because he is having some horrendous gas and he wants to be right next to me. So I will be going out and getting some air freshener. It is a glamorous life that I lead. I will be back for nightly newsy news with me and Fry. Hopefully, Fry will have less gas. And I have a couple updates of cases that we are watching, and I will try to put out a couple of short videos during the afternoon. Sal and Excited Utterance will be taking over. This is the lunch break today, so I've covered the morning session, and they will be covering the afternoon session. And then I will see you in the morning, and hopefully by the end of today, the judge was fairly certain, or I'm sorry. So by the end of tomorrow, which will be their Monday, the state will have rested their case, and then the rest of this week should be the defense. And he hasn't yet given us kind of how long the defense case is supposed to last, but I don't anticipate it being super long because if we if I remember back to the defense's opening after I got over the actually what the crap is he trying to say, he only mentioned a couple of personal friend witnesses that were going to corroborate the big sad that Gareth was going through. And I think the big question will be if Gareth is going to actually testify himself. Sal did say something about uh, the defense actually subpoenaing Drew Carey. So I don't know. We will see all the shenanigans. I will work more on yes, he did. Yes, the defense is subpoenaing Drew Carey or did subpoena Drew Carey. So Lord only knows the kind of ridiculous shenanigans, which is why I have made a dumpster fire. But I believe that we will be getting the defense attorney into this because both Helen Lovejoy and Doogie Howser have done ticked me off today, and I may or may not figure out how to make a Danny Glover, done with this meter of things. Yes. But those will be chores for later on this afternoon as I am getting grocery shopping done. And I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. I will be back here in the evening for Newsy News with Fry, and hopefully he is less gassy. Or I don't light a match around him. I will see you all later. Thanks for joining me and having fun. And hopefully if Fry decides to be a no-show again tomorrow, I might set up so that I can do cross stitch because I feel like I've neglected that for a while. So I might repurpose Fry cam to be cross stitch cam for a little bit this week so I can get some of that done and get things going with that again. I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Bye guys.